All right, get ready. Because today we're taking a deep dive into the world of prolific.
Prolific, yeah.
We're going way beyond just the basics here.
Way beyond.
We've got some excerpts from 1000 Ways to Hustle to help guide us.
Excellent source.
And let me tell you, this book, it's got some seriously good insider tips.
It really does.
But, before we get into all that,
Yeah.
I think most people, when they think of online surveys, you think,
Okay.
I can make a quick buck, right?
Exactly.
And that's true with Prolific, too.
You can, yeah.
But there's something much bigger going on.
Much bigger. It's about contributing to real academic research.
Oh, absolutely.
Like the kind that actually shapes the policies and products that we use every single day.
That's what I found so fascinating about it.
Yeah.
It's not just about clicking through and answering mindless questions.
No,
You're actually part of something so much larger.
100%.
So before we get into the nitty-gritty, what would you say is the biggest difference between Prolific and all those other survey sites that are out there?
I think the key difference really comes down to quality and focus.
Okay.
So Prolific, it partners directly with universities and research institutions.
Ah.
So
okay.
the studies that you find on Prolific, they're designed with this scientific rigor.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just someone's marketing scheme.
Yeah.
And that actually translates to more interesting tasks, better pay, and you get that satisfaction of knowing that you're contributing to legitimate research.
I think, and the book really hammers this home too, that honesty is the best policy when it comes to your Prolific profile.
100%, yeah.
Which seems counterintuitive at first, right?
It does.
Shouldn't you try to play up your experience like you would on a resume?
Yeah, you would think so, but this is where things get really interesting. So researchers are often seeking participants who are what they call naive to the study's topic.
Naive, okay. So they're looking for people who don't know anything about the topic.
Essentially, yeah.
Okay.
They want these fresh perspectives. They want them untainted by
Right.
prior knowledge.
Oh, okay.
And this actually helps eliminate bias and strengthen their research findings.
So that About You section, that's super crucial then.
Absolutely.
Because researchers might be out there looking for somebody with zero experience in underwater basket weaving, for example.
Yeah,
And you could be their perfect candidate.
exactly.
It seems like the more complete and accurate your profile is, the wider the net you're casting for these potential studies, right?
100%. And that's where the Prolific Assistant browser extension comes in. Think of it as your secret weapon for snagging those high-paying, super interesting studies.
Yeah, the book raves about the Prolific Assistant.
It's fantastic.
What makes it so special?
Well, it's way more than just getting notifications.
Okay.
It gives you these real-time study previews, so you can quickly assess the topic, the estimated time, the reward, so you can actually be strategic about which studies you pursue, focusing on ones that align with your interests and your schedule.
Okay, so it's about being selective, not just clicking on every single study that pops up.
Yeah.
Right?
You're not a robot,
Yeah.
You're a valuable contributor to the research process. And the book even suggests thinking of yourself like a consultant.
Uh-huh.
You're offering your time and insights to help these researchers answer important questions.
I like that.
It's a good analogy.
Yeah, it highlights that need for thoughtful participation.
Yes.
I mean, researchers, they rely on this accurate data.
100%.
And that starts with engaged participants
Yeah.
who are going to follow the instructions carefully and provide those genuine responses.
Exactly.
And this brings us to the infamous attention checks.
Yes,
They seem like a necessary evil.
they are. Think of them as a quality control measure.
Okay.
Researchers need to make sure that participants are genuinely engaged, that they're not just speeding through the study.
Right.
So a common tactic is asking you to select a specific answer,
Okay.
like strongly disagree, just to weed out those who aren't paying attention.
And the book, it really stresses that ignoring these attention checks can have consequences.
Absolutely.
Like, what kind of consequences are we talking about?
So repeated rejections for failing attention checks can impact your reputation on the platform,
Oh, wow.
and it can even lead to account suspension.
Oh, wow.
It's a signal to researchers that you might not be a reliable participant,
Oh, okay.
so you don't want to get that reputation.
So being a prolific pro means taking those attention checks seriously.
100%.
But there's got to be more to it than that, right?
There is. It's also about understanding the different types of submissions that you might encounter. So the book actually goes into detail about no-code and code submissions,
Okay.
which can be a little bit confusing at first.
Yeah, that sounds kind of confusing. Can you give us a quick rundown of what those are?
Yeah, sure. So no-code submissions usually happen when the study's hosted on an external platform and there's no completion code to enter on Prolific.
So you just confirm you completed it and Prolific handles the rest.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
Code submissions are a little bit more straightforward.
Yeah.
You'll receive a unique code at the end of the study that you enter on Prolific to confirm your participation. Those tend to get approved faster.
Gotcha.
But both types are equally important.
Okay.
So I think now that we have a good grasp on those Prolific basics,
Yeah.
I'm curious to dive into maximizing those earnings
Yes.
and really exploring the impact that we can make as participants.
Let's get into that. But first, we've got to take a quick break
We'll be back in a flash with more insights from High Thousand Ways to Hustle.
and explore this exciting world of maximizing your prolific potential.
Yes.
We'll be right back.
Be right back.
Okay, I'm ready to level up my prolific game.
Double up, yeah.
The book really made a compelling case for thinking long term, like not just chasing after those one-off study payments.
Yeah, 100%. It's about building a sustainable system.
Okay.
So 1,000 Ways to Hustle suggests treating Prolific just like any other freelance gig.
Okay.
You need a strategy.
What does that actually look like?
Well, it starts...
Is it blocking off time in my calendar to go and check for studies?
That's a great starting point.
Okay.
The book recommends setting aside specific times each day,
Mm-hmm.
even if it's just like 15, 20 minutes, to browse through the available studies and just jump on those that catch your eye.
And I'm guessing it's not all about speed,
No,
right?
you got it.
There's got to be more to it than just being the fastest clicker in the West.
Exactly. Remember what we were talking about earlier?
Yeah.
Quality over quantity.
Mm-hmm.
Researchers value those thoughtful participants who are providing those accurate, detailed responses.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you build a reputation that leads to more invitations for those high-paying studies.
So it's almost like building a portfolio. Research experience.
Yeah, think of it like that.
Showing the researchers that
It's
you're
not...
reliable,
Yeah,
insightful contributor.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic way to put it.
Okay.
And the book also dives into this really fascinating world of longitudinal studies.
Oh, longitudinal.
Yeah.
Okay, what is that?
These are studies that follow participants over a longer period,
Oh, wow.
sometimes weeks, months, or even years.
Oh, wow. Okay. That sounds really intriguing.
It is.
What kind of topics do they cover?
They run the gamut.
Okay.
You could find yourself tracking your mood over time,
Okay.
participating in regular cognitive assessments,
Mm-hmm.
or even providing feedback on product prototypes as they evolve.
Okay.
So these studies offer a unique opportunity to contribute to research that unfolds over time,
Wow.
and you're witnessing the impact of your participation firsthand.
I can already picture myself as this long-term research collaborator,
Yeah,
helping to unlock the mysteries of human behavior.
exactly.
But let's be real. Sometimes life gets in the way and those screenouts can be frustrating.
They can be.
Any tips on minimizing those?
Yeah. The key, according to 1,000 Ways to Hustle, is to be proactive. Make sure your prolific profile is super detailed,
Okay.
especially those demographic sections.
Mm-hmm.
The more researchers know about you up front, the better they can determine if you're a good fit for their study before you even start answering questions.
So it's worth spending
Yeah.
extra time up front to make sure that your profile is truly a reflection of you.
100%.
Okay, but what about those times when a study just doesn't load or a completion code just doesn't work?
Yeah.
It's got to be a little nerve-wracking when those technical glitches pop up.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but don't worry. The book has got you covered there, too.
Okay.
It provides a whole troubleshooting section
Okay.
with really practical advice.
Okay.
So sometimes a simple page refresh does the trick.
Yeah.
If that doesn't work, clearing your browser cache is often the next step.
Good to know.
And then, of course, if all else fails, there's always the option to reach out to the researcher or Prolific support for help.
Perfect.
They're great.
Okay.
Prolific has a really good reputation for being very responsive and helpful. They want you to succeed and contribute that high-quality data.
And speaking of quality data, the book talks about the importance of being aware of the ethical considerations
Absolutely.
involved in research.
It's not just about making money. It's
Right.
about being a responsible participant.
Mm-hmm.
And that means carefully reading and understanding the informed consent information at the beginning of each study,
Okay.
knowing how your data will be used, and feeling empowered to withdraw from a study at any time if you're uncomfortable.
It's like a good reminder that we're
Yeah.
not just data points.
Right.
We're individuals with rights and agency.
Exactly. And Prolific takes those ethical considerations very seriously.
Okay.
But, beyond the individual level,
Yeah.
1,000 Ways to Hustle really got me thinking about the larger societal impact
Oh, yes.
of this whole online research ecosystem.
I was thinking the same thing. It's like we're all contributing to this massive decentralized brain trust,
It is.
providing insights that could lead to breakthroughs
Absolutely.
in medicine, technology, even social policy.
That's such a powerful image.
Right.
And the book provides some really compelling examples of how prolific data has actually been used to inform real-world decisions.
Like what?
Give me some specifics.
One that really stuck with me involved research on consumer behavior
Okay.
and how it influences product design.
Mm-hmm.
And the findings from that study actually helped a company refine a new mobile app,
Oh, wow.
making it more user-friendly and intuitive.
So it's not just answering theoretical questions.
Right.
It's about contributing to real-world solutions
Yes.
that impact people's lives.
Exactly.
Wow.
And the book goes on to explore how Prolific is changing the landscape of research,
Okay.
making it more accessible
Mhm.
and inclusive.
Oh, tell me more about that. So traditionally, research studies were often limited to these small, homogeneous groups,
Okay.
which could actually skew the findings and limit their applicability to the wider population.
Right.
Prolific is changing that
Okay.
by connecting researchers with a far more diverse and representative pool of participants
Okay.
from all walks of life.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it really is.
It's like we're all part of this giant experiment,
I love that.
collectively pushing the boundaries of knowledge and understanding.
Absolutely.
But it's not just about the data itself,
No.
right? It's about the human stories behind it,
Yeah.
the individual perspectives that make each study so unique and valuable.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And that's what makes Prolific so much more than just another side hustle.
Mm-hmm.
It's a chance to contribute to something bigger than ourselves.
Yeah.
Be a part of this global community of knowledge seekers
Mm-hmm.
and make a real difference in the world.
I love that.
And I think on that note, we've reached a natural point to kind of wrap up this deep dive.
Wow, time flies when you're geeking out on research methodologies.
It really does.
But before we sign off, I have to ask, what's the one key takeaway that you want our listeners to walk away with?
You know what's really resonated with me through all of this?
What's that?
Just how approachable 1,000 Ways to Hustle makes this whole world of online research.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it's only for, academics
Right.
or tech wizards or something.
Right.
It feels like something anybody can participate in
Yeah.
and really enjoy.
And enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's that shift in perspective, I think.
Yeah.
That the book really nails, it reframes Prolific from being just another way to make a few bucks online
Right.
to a legitimate avenue for personal growth and intellectual stimulation.
You're learning about these fascinating topics.
Absolutely.
You're flexing your critical thinking muscles.
You are.
And you're contributing to real-world discoveries.
100%. It's a win-win-win.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong.
Yeah.
And let's not forget, the potential for those aha moments.
Yeah.
Those sudden bursts of insight
Definitely.
that come from engaging with this,
Yeah.
sometimes challenging material.
Yeah, absolutely. Who knows?
Yeah.
You might discover a new passion or a hidden talent you never even knew you had.
It's the beauty of lifelong learning, right?
It is.
It's constantly expanding our horizons, challenging our assumptions.
100%. And Prolific seems like such a fantastic tool for doing just that.
I think so, too.
Yeah, and as more people embrace this whole idea of citizen science,
Mm-hmm.
I think we're going to see a ripple effect
Yeah.
across society.
Oh, yeah.
More informed citizens,
Mm-hmm.
more nuanced policy discussions,
Yeah.
and ultimately a greater collective understanding of the world around us.
It's like we're all contributing to this
Is
massive tapestry of knowledge,
Yeah.
each thread representing, an
I-
individual's unique perspective and experience.
I love that imagery. That's beautiful.
So for anyone out there listening who's kind of been on the fence about, diving into Prolific,
Yeah,
I say go for it.
absolutely.
You might be surprised by what you learn,
Yeah,
not only about yourself,
Yeah.
but about the world that we live in.
100%.
Yeah.
Who knows? Your participation could spark the next big scientific breakthrough or inspire a positive change in the world.
Well said.
You never know.
A huge thank you to 1000 Ways to Hustle
Fantastic book.
for providing this really insightful roadmap
Hmm.
to navigating the world of Prolific.
Yeah,
We'll definitely include a link to the book in the show notes for anyone who wants to kind of delve a little deeper.
definitely check it out.
But for now,
Yeah.
this is where we part ways.
This is it.
It's been such a pleasure.
It has such a pleasure.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And until next time, stay curious, keep learning, and never underestimate the impact you can make on the world.
Couldn't have said it better myself.